beautiful people? I'm Erin and this is Erin on Demand, and today we got an interview. I am talking to a YouTube executive, Tara Walpert-Levy, and we are talking all the things, y'all. I asked some questions about YouTube Shorts, about why long-form engagement is so low right now on YouTube. At least that's something that my channel is experiencing. And also just things like, is YouTube overly saturated now? Is there room for small creators? So if you are considering starting a YouTube channel, or even if you are on YouTube and creating content consistently and you want to hear from the inside what are some best practices, then please, you are in for a treat. Let's get right into the interview. Welcome to Erin on Demand, Tara.
Thank you so much. It's such a delight to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive into some questions?
Sure. Let's see. I am the VP of the Americas at YouTube, which means I have my dream job of getting to talk to creators and artists and media companies and other folks all day, trying to make sure that the platform is working for you. And I am married with 3 young children who are big YouTube followers.
Quick icebreaker question. If you had your own YouTube channel, do you have your own YouTube channel?
I don't.
Okay.
I really have one, but I don't yet.
If you had one, what would it be about?
So I have this theory that there's a gap in the market for basically Oprah, the new modern YouTube version of Oprah, which is aimed at middle-aged women, right? And sort of like the issues of our time and our days, which may also have changed, but that sort of, universal appeal and emotional connection. I would love for that to be my channel.
Okay, you're gonna have to start that. I'm not middle-aged yet. I don't know if I'm the demographic, but when I am, I'm gonna need it. So
All right, I've got some time, but I'm keeping viewers like you in mind for sure.
Okay, good. From the creator perspective, have you seen a shift or channels coming into life, or like people growing faster? Like, what are some of the things that you've noticed over your time that have kind of changed in the creator economy of YouTube?
Let's see. I mean, the mission of YouTube, which is what attracted me in the first place, I think is actually pretty stable, right? Give everybody a voice and help them to show people the world. If you think about sort of the explosive growth that we all know has happened, and look at, we just released, for example, our latest annual impact report, where Oxford Economics said that YouTube is contributing in the US alone $35 billion of GDP and almost 400,000 jobs. That wasn't happening 12 years ago, right? The explosive nature, the extent to which all of those creators are now able to hire people and, build their own businesses, and the breadth and depth of content on the platform, has just exploded.
And you know what's crazy? I started my channel at the end of 2018. And I was like, I'm going to have 50,000 subscribers by the end of 2019. And by the end of 2019, I had almost 100,000 subscribers. And my channel just like took off. I felt like there was a missing space for young Black women who were building their businesses from the ground up, and not those entrepreneurs who had already made it, who were already like making 6-7 figures, but like really showing how I moved back in with my parents, and like, just how I was kind of bootstrapping it from the beginning. And YouTube, I have always said, it's like the heartbeat of my business. It has been the thing that has opened up so many opportunities and allowed me to meet so many people. And I think that it's just so crazy how YouTube has done that for so many people. Like, I feel super special that it's happened to me, but I know that it has happened to so many people. And I just saw that the monetization requirements have shifted. So can we talk about that for a second? Is YouTube trying to create more opportunities for more creators to make money on the platform and to create a whole business out of having a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I mean, we are, frankly, I loved you're talking about YouTube as the heartbeat of your business, because that is one of my absolute favorites, along with people who talk about YouTube as their home. And so in order to keep both of those things true for creators, we are always looking to think, how can we make YouTube even more creatively, financially, emotionally attractive to people? We wanted to find a way to enable creators to start making money faster. And so in essence, the number of subscribers required to be eligible for YPP is lower for these direct from consumer options, because advertisers tend to require a certain volume in a way that loyal fans might not. And so we saw a big opportunity to help more creators early in their career, get their start building those businesses, and hopefully then move even faster in getting to it, what you describe, 100,000 subs, even more.
Yeah. So just to clarify, the new requirements are 500 subscribers and 3,000 watched hours within a year's time frame, correct? Okay. I have a lot of smaller channels who are subscribed to me because I share a lot of like YouTube growth and like business growth. And a lot of them feel so stuck. Like, I don't know, how to grow as a small channel, or I feel like the big channels are always pushed. And this is just me
Yeah.
advocating for my people because I
Yeah.
know that these are the types of questions they would want me to ask, or at least just get your perspective on. Do you feel like there's still an equal opportunity for smaller channels now to grow and have the same impact as people who have maybe joined 4 or 5 years ago, like I did? I know a lot of small channels feel like they're just like, it's almost impossible now. So, what's your take on?
Oh, that's interesting. I do think the opportunity is as good as it was, and probably even better, especially because of shorts, right? So we are seeing an incredible proliferation of the number of creators getting started with shorts because it's easier and faster, and in some cases less expensive to start the creation process. And you'll remember last year we were the first to launch a scalable rev share program for shorts so that those creators could build their brands and their businesses. And now we're starting to see some of those shorts creators actually now start to move into long form. And so that multi-format approach, which is part of how we're trying to, again, sort of enhance the creative options on the platform, is really working in both directions. And so we've been very excited actually to see the number of new creators on the platform and the growth that's happening sort of across the whole chain.
Okay. So you're saying don't think like that, small creators. Take the opportunities. YouTube is giving us more ways to be creative on the platform, which in turn is kind of more opportunities to grow. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's right. And if you think about it, some of those enormous creators have also sort of exploded and become more prominent in the last couple of years. And so, I'd encourage people to look at that less as an obstacle and more as an inspiration, right? That's what's possible for everyone. I mean, I don't want to be Pollyannish. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Right? And some of it is hard because the content business is hard, right?
Yeah.
And I have such admiration for the fortitude and resilience and passion of all of our creators because getting out there day after day, week after week, and building your audience is really challenging. And we are just continuing to do everything we possibly can to, from a platform perspective, make it as easy as it possibly can be.
Yeah. Do you think anything's missing from YouTube, like that creators can bring to the platform that isn't currently being done?
Oh my gosh. One of the things I actually love most also about the nature of my job is we are always seeing new trends, new things that like I wouldn't have even thought of, right? The entire ASMR trend, all sorts of things that are happening on the platform that if you'd asked me that question before they arrived, I wouldn't have been like, oh, we're really missing that. And yet they pop out. And that's why I think hands down, this is why we're such big believers that, you know, people are the gatekeepers of viewers are the gatekeepers of what's good content. It shouldn't be executives because we are not as good at it, right? You guys, creators and your audiences are much better than we are at seeing the opportunity to bring something new to market. The one other thing that pops into my mind is, that quote, there are no new stories, just new ways of telling them.
Yeah.
I think there's some truth in that also. There probably was a version of ASMR or something like it, right, out there prior. But what I love about YouTube creators is the voice, the authenticity, the style, the how you tell your story is almost always new. And so the question is that something that is resonant with a growing group of people and can you build on it? And if not, how you continue to evolve what is authentic to you to find that.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so let's talk about long form because I know we hit on shorts, but I
Yep.
feel like a lot of people, and I would say my channel included, I've just heard a lot of talk about people seeing a lot less engagement in their long form content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why is that?
So it's interesting. I mean, at an aggregate level, we're seeing sort of continued sort of engagement across the platform, but we're hearing a lot of what you just articulated. And I think it's a couple of things. I mean, candidly, we are still digging to make sure we're understanding every angle of what's changing in viewer behavior. But there is a fundamental element, right? And this is why we launched Shorts, candidly, which is consumers have expressed this passionate interest in short form, and it's serving sort of a different use case. And also sort of one that may be sort of happening in a time when sometimes someone might have been consuming long form. And so what we're trying to do primarily is to look at, okay, like we all know it's hard to fight viewer interest and viewer passion, right? That's how YouTube evolved in the first place, right? It's ironic that like we're now talking about long form when at the time like YouTube in its entirety was short form and
Right.
everyone was like,
It's
why are you doing
crazy.
that?
Yeah.
Right, it's crazy. But just in the way that I think media companies have become sort of such a huge part of the platform because they tapped into that viewer interest, we're trying to help our long form creators figure out how do we make the most of shorts and connect that to long form such that we're able to really take advantage of viewers across the journey and to have we are hearing from many creators that they're getting new audiences, they are getting new engagement, they're getting new types of engagement in some cases, like either on television or through shopping or things like that. And so I think, anytime something new that's this big is sort of introduced into the mix, right, there's going to be some, unintended consequences and ripple effects. And so I totally hear and deeply empathize with the challenge it's presenting in some creators' sort of long form businesses. And I think what we have to do is we can't sort of just be like, well, I want to resist that because the wave of history suggests that when consumers shift behavior, you can't resist it. The key is to figure out how do you make the most of it to make the most of the whole thing. Because I do continuously hear and see in our research, viewers continue to passionately care about long form as well, right? Creators care about long form as well. That's where the depth happens, right? That's where the connection
Yeah.
happens. It's not the snack, it's the whole meal.
Yeah.
And so that's a big focus area for us to figure out how do we help you all to make the most of every format.
So can we dig into that a little bit more of like making the most of it? Have you seen anything tangibles that creators can do in their content, in their long form content to like have better results? In those first 30 seconds, are there certain things that you've noticed that creators who are still having great success with their long form content are doing? Music, faster cuts, or, are there
Yeah.
any tangibles that people can go and try?
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because most of the folks who are giving us feedback that they're seeing some impact on their long form are also folks who are some of the biggest long form creators who still have massive viewership and engagement, right? It's just that some of that is now happening in their short form as well. And so I don't think it's necessarily like changes or hooks in the content. I think it's perhaps a connection between the two, right? And so thinking about how do you take advantage of folks who are in a short form frame of mind and think about what that would mean to sort of bring them to long form? Is there a medium form, right, that you're sort of for a certain amount of people? And look, I'm not pretending we have all the answers. I think these are the things that we're sort of working through with all of you as this has sort of cropped up. But I don't know that the content itself, right, is in any way fundamentally challenged because they're still seeing so much viewership. It's just that any shift in one direction or the other at that scale is really big. And so figuring out how do we make the connections across the formats tighter, such that either, by the way, you don't care because you're sort of monetizing and engaging a broader audience across all the devices and format types, and so you become more indifferent, and or the drive to long form is more compelling for folks who otherwise just aren't engaging at all.
And that's a good way to look at it. What's like your parting message to anyone who is sitting on their butt about their channel? Like they haven't made the move. They're like, I'm so nervous. I feel like it's oversaturated, because we hear that all the time. It's too saturated. I have all these ideas. I don't know what to do. I want to get started, but I'm just crippling myself. What's your message to them? As a YouTube executive, I want you to talk right to them, Tara, and tell them your best advice to just get going and to start that channel.
Well, I confess up front, I'm talking to myself here because I have aspirations and haven't started either. So self and other fellow aspiring creators, I'm going to repeat the best advice I've heard, which I hear from my creator partners and customers all the time, which is just do it, right? Start with shorts. It can be 1 minute, it can be 15 seconds, it can be 10 minutes, it can be whatever you want. Don't worry about the quality. It's probably not going to be amazing first time out, but you iterate, you get better, you learn, you see in the data. Like there is no way to move forward without simply starting. And so I'll make a commitment to you when we regroup here a year from now. Hopefully you all have started your channel and I commit to having started mine.
And I peeped that, Tara. You said we're going to regroup here. So I would love to have another conversation. I'd also like to add some advice on top of yours. I
Please.
know that so many people are looking at people's content who have been doing this professionally for years, and they're comparing themselves up against LeBron James, and you're still in high school. Like you're still trying to figure it out. So I tell people, go look at like my first videos or go look at your favorite
Oh, that's
creators'
a
first
great piece of
videos
advice.
and then compare. Your quality is going to be better just because iPhones are even better than the cameras we were using then. Go look at the first videos instead of comparing yourselves to the now videos, because it's always going to help you see that you're not as far off as you think you are. So I hope
That's
you
a
guys
really great piece of
enjoyed
advice.
this video. I loved this conversation, Tara. I love talking all things YouTube. It's like, I love it so much. I just love the platform, and I don't think I'll ever stop.
Ah, well, we are grateful for that and grateful for you. So I've loved chatting with you as well.
I know we hit a lot of high level things, and I hope you got so much out of this interview. If you want more tactical, tangible things, help creating your channel, help getting your video content going, being more confident on camera, and also if you don't really want to hyper niche, but you want to create multifaceted content, then I highly recommend you join my Creator College. It is such an incredible community of hundreds of entrepreneurs, content creators. Even just from a networking perspective, it is just such an incredible place to be. We have tons of master classes, lessons on things like editing, branding, outlining YouTube scripts, and I just share a lot of insight from someone who has built a channel and built a brand and built a business, all with YouTube being the core of that. And so if that is something that you're interested in, I highly recommend you check it out. There is a link down below, and I'll even put a special code in there to give you a little bit of a discount on your initial tuition. I hope that from this video you're actually encouraged as a small creator or as a large creator that it is not too late. We still have to put in the effort. Like Tara said, it is hard work that's never gonna go away, but let's diversify. Let's start doing more shorts. Let's put our best foot forward on the platform to get the best possible results. So I hope this is helpful. If you're interested in joining Creator College, I will leave all of that information below, and I hope to see you inside. I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.